Good afternoon, and this is another video by the practitioner, aka the genius. And today what we're looking at is 21s. This technique have just came across, and it is very similar to the preacher curl division. So I wanted to talk about the 21s. Starts at the bottom and you're lifting to the top position, moving the weight from a lower position to a higher position and complete a lift. But it looks like what they did is they just used partial reps and put them together to create 21s. So we do a partial here, then a partial here, and then a full range to complete 21 reps. You got 7, 7, and 7. So we go from the bottom starting position to the chop of range of motion, a partial, and then another partial and full range. So we'll start from the bottom and do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. From here, you'll have a brief pause. Then you'll go to the top of the range of motion to do another partial. Go 1. From here, so first it's from the bottom to the middle to the top. So here we go. So we stop at the middle and go to the top of the range of motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we go all the way down and we do 7 full range from bottom to top of range of motion. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to create our bicep. This is the bicep muscle. But this is very tough for beginners because there is no changing of the range of motion in these divisions. So by the time you get to the third range of motion, it is very difficult. So we have to compare 21s versus our preacher curl division, which starts from the bottom, from the top, and then moves down to the bottom. So in the 21s, we're still lifting. The concept's the same. You still lift the weight to a higher position from the bottom to the top. And have never heard where of all the range of motion, what the most important part is. And that is always the top of the range of motion. So with the preacher curl division, that's our starting point. We start at the top. We take away all the bottom part of it. We erase it for the preacher curl, and this is our starting position. Top is the starting position with the muscle flex repetition 5, 10 to 15. So you start there, and then you fall into the divisions. So there's no lifting in the preacher curl division compared to the 21s. It's the complete opposite. We start here, already contracted, already time under tension. Then we fall into the divisions. So we have 8 in our first division, 3 in our second division, and then 5 reps in full range of motion once you reach the bottom. So here you do 8 reps, but the concept's totally different because you're not lifting, you're lowering into the first division. Choose your reps in the first and second division, but 5 is always going to be the same. So with this combination, instead of doing 21 reps, we make 16 total reps, but including the 5, 10 to 15 second muscle flex repetition and our static hold position, 5, 10 to 15 seconds. So that's increasing time under tension. We might not make 21 reps, but we're still making the most of the top of the range of motion and the bottom of the range of motion because we're still holding the weight, creating more time under tension in getting the most of the top of the range of motion itself, chopping it, creating divisions, and then at the bottom of the range of motion, we hold it and then we can throw it away. So we have time under tension covered, and then we have our contraction and our range of motion in between the top and the bottom. So instead of lifting, we will lower. Do 8 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it back to the top. Then you go all the way down. And you move it to the top of the range of motion and do 3 reps. 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll go full range and do 5. 1, back to the top. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then static hold 5, 10 to 15 seconds. And then you throw it away. So with building, for us beginners, the lift is not necessary. The lift is only necessary if you're trying to become a power lifter or a weight lifter, because you lift from the bottom to the top. Since we're just concerned in getting the quickest gains possible, we erase the lift and start at the very top. And we lower and practice on our muscle contraction with each division. And then full range. So from top to bottom is the most effective. Instead of 21s, with bottom, the top, back down, and then back up. So we're being overall more efficient, not wasting any energy in getting it to the top because we've already started there. So we just lower, so we go from bottom and then the top with each division. With 21s, we have to go all the way to top, bottom, and then top again. So there's a lot of movement, and reps are not changing, so that makes it very difficult. For elite level athletes, this is great. This is a great technique. We're doing a lot of reps and a lot of movement in divisions. With the preacher curl division, we're more flexible with our rep ranges, except for the third, which we do 5. And we're being more efficient because instead of moving to the top, because the top is secondary in the 21s, the starting position is the bottom, you move to the top. That's where we're trying to get for muscle contraction, is the top. Here, this is where we start. Top position, so we don't have to go through fight gravity to get to the top. We work with gravity and we go down. 1, and we do our reps. So, and of course with static hold and muscle flex repetition. And you can always choose your combinations. We can do 8, 3, and 5 for building, or 5, 5, and 5, or 8, 1, and 5. For building combinations, you can always write it out, make a drawing, and put in your 8 reps, 3 reps, and 5 reps, or your 5 reps, 5 reps, and 5 reps, or your 8, 1, and 5. That 1 is always so you never miss that division. That's the combination for building. With 21s, it's always set 7, 7, and 7. So